What if your car is quietly ticking toward failure, and you'll never know until it's too late? Every day you drive it, smile at the smooth sound of the engine, trusting it'll take you anywhere. But somewhere deep under the hood, something has already started to break down. And the truth is, every professional mechanic knows it. They have a hidden checklist that starts the moment your odometer crosses 100,000 miles, a list of silent parts that age, crack, or fail, long before your dashboard lights ever warn you. But here's the twist. Most of them won't tell you, because what you don't know keeps their garages busy and your wallet wide open. There's a system they follow, quietly, methodically, checking one box after another behind closed shop doors, and you're never supposed to see it. But today, you will. Because we're exposing every secret they keep off the record. And habit number 6? Even dealership techs try to hide that one. By the end of this video, you'll never look at your 100K mile car the same way again. Let's open the hood and see what they never wanted you to notice: timing belt or chain, the silent time bomb. The part that keeps your engine alive can also destroy it in seconds. Hidden beneath metal and bolts lies your timing belt or chain, the heartbeat that keeps every piston and valve in rhythm. But after 100,000 miles, that rhythm starts to slip. Mechanics know it. They listen for the faint rattle, the soft ticking tensioner, the small oil leak that gives it away. Yet most will stay silent, because replacing it means hours of labor and a hefty bill. So they wait until it breaks. And when it does, it can shatter your engine beyond repair. A $2,000 to $6,000 nightmare pro tip. Replace your timing belt between 90,000 and 100,000 miles before it fails. Because the next part costs even more, and no one warns you until you're stranded transmission fluid, the lifetime lie. They call it lifetime fluid, but that's the biggest lie in the manual. Manufacturers use it to make cars sound maintenance-free, but every mechanic knows the truth. There's no such thing as lifetime anything under that much heat and pressure. Behind closed doors, they quietly pull the dipstick, sniff the fluid, check the color, and when it's dark or smells burnt, they know the transmission is dying early. Dealers rarely mention it because warning you means panic, and fewer surprise rebuilds later. Ignore it. And one day you'll be handed a $4,000 repair bill that could have been avoided. Pro tip: flush or replace your transmission fluid every 40,000 to 60,000 miles, no matter what the book says. If these secrets are helping you save thousands, subscribe, because the next ones are even more hidden fuel system cleaning, the hidden power fix. By the time your car hits 100,000 miles, your fuel system starts choking on carbon buildup. It clogs your injectors, coats your intake valves, and slowly steals your power and fuel economy. You press the gas, but the response feels dull, like your engine's getting tired. It's not age, it's dirt. Mechanics know this, but they keep injector cleaning as a premium upsell, waiting until you complain about performance. Forget the $50 bottle from the gas station. Real cleaning means a pressurized professional flush. Around $200 that brings back lost power and smooth acceleration. Pro tip: do a full fuel injector cleaning and replace your fuel filter at 100K. Because inside your engine, the soldiers of ignition are already falling one by one. Spark plugs and coils, the forgotten soldiers. Deep inside your engine, 13 tiny soldiers of fire work tirelessly. Your spark plugs and coils, but after 100,000 miles, they're tired soldiers losing spark. Mechanics know it the moment they hear a rough idle or weak throttle, but they hesitate to tell you, because a full ignition service can cost hundreds, and most drivers simply don't want to hear it. so they quietly inspect them during oil changes or valve jobs, waiting for you to notice the misfire first. A single weak spark can drag down your engine's rhythm, killing performance and wasting fuel. Pro tip: replace all spark plugs at 100,000 and swap your coils if even one has failed. Your car will breathe smoother, idle cleaner, and sip less gas. Because what supports your car's weight tells another story. One they never write on the invoice: suspension check, the invisible bounce test. Every seasoned mechanic does this one move you never notice. They press down on your car's fender and quietly watch it bounce. It's not curiosity, it's a secret test for shock and strut wear. After 100,000 miles, most suspensions are already soft and unstable, even if the ride still feels fine. That gentle boat feel, the slight body roll on turns, or uneven tire wear, they're all signs your suspension is giving up. But because these repairs are expensive, mechanics often stay silent until you complain. Pro tip: replace shocks and struts after 100,000 miles to restore safety and control, because stability isn't luxury, it's safety. But below the surface, something else is already shaking loose. Engine and transmission. Mounts the hidden rattlers. Dealerships hide this one. This is the big secret. Even dealership techs rarely explain. Your car's engine and transmission mounts are small blocks of rubber and metal, the only things holding all that power in place. But after 100,000 miles, that rubber begins to crack and soften, and every start, stop, or shift sends tiny vibrations through the frame. You might feel a thud when shifting gears, or a faint rumble at idle, signs that your mounts are slowly collapsing. Mechanics know it instantly, but they often stay quiet, because it's hard to show a failing mount to someone who can't see it. Every vibration you ignore spreads through your car like a slow fracture, damaging sensors, exhaust lines, even CV joints. Pro tip: if your cabin shakes or clunks during shifts, ask to inspect your engine and transmission mounts. Ever notice that vibration at idle? Tell us your mileage below. Your story might help someone catch it early. Cooling system overhaul, not just a flush. Most drivers think a simple coolant flush keeps their car safe, but after 100,000 miles, your cooling system hides a lot more danger. Inside those radiator lines, hoses, and thermostats, corrosion builds silently. Rubber hoses swell from the inside, metal parts rust and weaken, and a failing water pump can turn one hot day into an engine meltdown. Mechanics often see the early signs, but they stay quiet until the leak bursts and you're stranded. A few hundred spent early can save thousands later. Pro tip: replace your water pump, thermostat, and radiator hoses between 100,000 to 120,000 miles to prevent overheating disasters. Because the next noise you hear could mean your wheels are already dying. CV axles and boots, the click of doom. That faint click on a sharp turn, that's your warning. Your car's CV axles and rubber boots hold the grease that keeps your wheels spinning smoothly. But after 100,000 miles, that rubber starts to crack, leaking grease and letting dirt and water grind away at the joint. Mechanics often spot the splatter, but they stay quiet until it's too late, because most drivers won't pay to fix what still drives fine. By the time you hear the clicking clearly, the joint is already dying, and the repair costs triple. Pro tip: inspect your CV boots for cracks or grease marks. Replace them before the joint fails. But sometimes danger doesn't click. It fades silently when you hit the brakes. Brake fluid and hardware, the silent killer. Your brakes might stop your car, but old brake fluid can stop your luck. Over time, that fluid quietly absorbs water, dropping its boiling point and weakening your stopping power. In a sudden panic stop, that can mean one thing: your pedal hits the floor, and it doesn't stop there. Rusted caliper pins and seized clips twist your braking force, making your car pull to one side and wear unevenly. Most shops only mention it when it's already too late. Pro tip: flush your brake fluid every 3 years and clean your caliper hardware with every pad change. Because sometimes what kills your brakes isn't what you can see. It's what's quietly boiling inside, and the smallest valve in your car could wreck your engine. PCV valve, the tiny engine killer. It's the smallest part in your engine, but it controls one of the biggest pressures inside it. The PCV valve quietly manages airflow and internal pressure, keeping harmful gases from building up in your engine block. But after 80,000 to 100,000 miles, it starts to clog. And when it does, pressure spikes from within. The result? Oil leaks, rough idles, and slow internal damage that spreads like poison through the engine. Most shops ignore it. Too cheap to upsell, too buried to reach, but ignoring it can destroy what keeps your car breathing. Pro tip: replace your PCV valve every 80,000 to 100,000 miles. It costs under $50 and saves thousands in repairs. Because even your battery isn't as safe as it looks. Battery and charging system, the pre-failure zone. Your car might start fine today, but its battery could already be dying in silence. After years of heat, vibration, and cold mornings, the voltage begins to fade, forcing your alternator to work overtime. That extra strain weakens the entire electrical system. Lights dim, sensors misread, and starters wear faster. Most mechanics quietly load test the battery during service, but unless it fails on the spot, they rarely tell you. Pro tip: replace your battery every 4 to 5 years, or have it tested before winter hits. Because once it gives up, your car doesn't even warn you. It just stops breathing. But some failures you breathe every day, literally. Cabin and engine air filters, the overlooked lungs. Every breath your car takes passes through 2 filters, one for the engine, one for you. By 100,000 miles, both are likely clogged with dust, soot, and pollen. A dirty engine filter chokes airflow and burns extra fuel. A filthy cabin filter strains the blower motor and fills your ride with stale, polluted air. Mechanics often glance at them, but if they're not blackened, they move on, leaving you to breathe the buildup. Pro tip: change both filters every 15,000 to 30,000 miles. Sooner in dusty or city areas, you'll gain clean air, better MPG, and longer HVAC life. Because what your car inhales, you exhale. Wheel bearings and hubs, the roar of collapse. It starts as a low growl, a faint hum that grows louder with speed. Most drivers mistake it for tire noise, but every mechanic knows that sound means one thing: a wheel bearing is dying. These bearings carry your car's entire weight, and once they wear out, they start to roar louder with every mile. Mechanics often hear it on test drives, but if it's mild, they move on. Because few customers believe a hum could lead to disaster. Ignore it long enough, and it turns into wheel wobble, ABS failure, even total hub collapse. Pro tip: inspect if you hear a humming that grows on turns. It's your early warning, and this is where every veteran mechanic's checklist ends. And yours should begin. Crossing 100,000 miles isn't decline. It's decision. Every veteran mechanic knows this moment. They don't follow a manual, they follow experience, a quiet checklist built from years of watching cars either survive or die. There are only 2 kinds of owners: those who react when something breaks, and those who prepare before it does. One treats 100K like a warning, the other treats it like a new beginning. Start thinking like a mechanic, proactive, not reactive. Because the next 100,000 miles depend on what you do today.